Well, hey guys, I'm here with Michael Johansson, CEO owner of GASP Better Bodies here at the Destination Dallas at the worldwide headquarters. And we've got another Olympia coming up, Olympia 2023 in Orlando. Yeah. And last year, I believe we had 22 Olympia athletes.
I think it was 25 actually.
25 actually?
Yeah.
So I've never, in my 30 years of being in this industry, heard of a company having 30 athletes, 25 athletes in the Olympia, so incredible. And especially in this day and time. You know, when I came on board back in 2008, I was the first international athlete face of GASP and all that back in the day. Yeah. And since then, our roster's grown to, I believe, 250 some odd athletes.
Yeah, close to 300 now.
So what was your philosophy back in the day when you brought me on? And then how did that philosophy strengthen and grow over the past 15 years to include almost 300 athletes across the world?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the philosophy is to create social belonging, you know, bringing people together and creating strength in numbers. Bodybuilding can be a very, you know, lonely sport or activity. You know, you're just doing your own thing and grinding day in and day out, and just like I did when I was bodybuilding back in the day. But I also feel like it's a little bit like a Formula One team. It's so much people in and around you that is part of your team and helping you to reach your goal at the same time as you're empowering other people to, you know, to dream big and reach their goals, you know. So I think it's what I discovered over time is that the more I'm empowering others, the more I'm empowering myself. And growing up where I did, it was not natural to empower yourself. The natural was that, you know, to not try to stick out of the norm, you know, and I didn't like that. I want to be different, and that's why I was doing bodybuilding, and also I want to create a change in the world. And I'm, you know, life could be short. It's always been chasing me, so I just want to make as big family and team as possible that can support each other all around the world. So that's why we have 16,000 ambassadors right now, and trying to grow our community with athletes and ambassadors and like-minded people.
Well, first of all, I want to bring attention to something you just said in passing. 16,000 ambassadors. So there's no company I know of in the fitness industry that even has anywhere close to that, in addition to the almost 300 athletes we have. And a lot of those ambassadors are athletes that will eventually one day potentially move up into that top group. I think something that a lot of people don't know, I know, some of the inner team here knows, but the reason you got into this is because you were a bodybuilder back in the day. Your dream was to be a pro, right?
Yeah, my dream was to be a pro and be on the biggest stage in the world. My first show was 1987 Mr. Olympia in Gothenburg, and you know, from that day I want to, you know, emulate what was going on, and I felt like I want to empower myself. And when people told me that, you know, you shouldn't dream so big, you know, I felt like, you know, I want to prove them wrong. I want to be relentless. I want to be no excuses, and I want to make sure that you know, I do everything in my power to work with all the tools in my toolbox to, you know, in my surrounding to reach my goals. Growing up where I was, when I was 27, I kind of realized that I'm not going to be on that stage. I can fulfill my goals anyway, and that's where I kind of pursue like a global approach with GASP and Better Bodies, and for me it feels like I'm standing on that Olympia stage, like last year when we have 25 athletes qualified for that big stage, and I felt like that was really giving me satisfaction that you know, I'm right there with you guys, feeling like we are doing this together, and you guys are empowering me, and I feel like, you know, I'm trying to do my best to empowering you to follow your dream, whatever it might be. It doesn't need to be competing, but it could be just empowerment of your own dreams and your own discipline to make stuff happen. I do like people who are disciplined, people who have no excuses, and people who, like yourself, who's looking at life in a broader perspective. So you kind of like, you know, you see that, oh, this is what I need to reach my goals, not try to focus so hard that you look life out of a straw and then you miss life, and you kind of get tunnel vision, you know.
Well, 1997 Mr. Olympia was a good first show. I think it was Lee Haney, Rich Gaspar, and Lee Labrada fighting for the top 3 spots. Lee Haney eventually won, so that was a pretty good introduction to the sport.
Yeah, exactly. And Lila Brada, who's a good friend today, came in third, and he was my role model back then, and he still is from a totality perspective today about bodybuilding and business and living life at large.
I met Lee for the first time in 1992, I believe.
Yeah.
I won his show down in Houston, and met him, became friends with him, and now it's going full circle. I won that show, and
Yeah.
his son Hunter won my show in Houston, which was his first victory. So it's kind of come full circle, and it shows how old I'm getting. But I think something you mentioned a couple times was you're around where you grew up. People just want you to like blend in, not stand out, not be the best.
Yeah.
And see, that to me, that's so foreign, because when I grew up, I was told dream big,
Yeah.
dream
Yeah.
big, and go out and
Yeah.
make it happen and win. And it was a completely different environment.
Yeah.
And, so, and I think that's you didn't like that.
Yeah.
And just like if somebody had told me that, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, they said, "Oh, you'll never win an open show. You'll never be a pro." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That made me so mad, because I thought to myself, nobody has the right to tell me I can't do something.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do whatever the hell I want to do,
Yeah.
and I'll make it happen. And you can if you put the work in. And I think it's ironic that you grew up in an environment like that, you became the total opposite of that, and now that you've come here and you have GASP Better Bodies, you know how you felt,
Yeah.
and so now you inspire and
Yeah.
provide a platform for these athletes to reach their dreams.
Yeah, I think it's like, for me, it's always been in my gut feeling, and as I was maturing through life, I'm listening more and more to my gut feeling, and that was, break the molds, and move from the little village to a bigger city, take on the whole country, take on Europe, and then move to US and start a new chapter. So I learned how, to not fight the gut feeling, but instead embrace it and run with it. And that's what I want to preach to, athletes and ambassadors and our community at large. Follow your dreams. If your gut feeling tells you something, then the gut feeling is correct, and you just try to make sure that you live that. So if you want to speak up, then you speak up. I know it's hard sometimes for some of us to speak up in a room full of people, but you know when you have that feeling of urge, I really want to say something, but I don't dare to say it. That's what I want to empower people to speak up, because when you speak up, then you're speaking up towards yourself and others, and you're leading the way for yourself and others to speak up. And the more you speak up, the more, and you speak it into existence, the more the stuff will happen. Just like you were pushing your athlete career to the max by speaking, you often tell me that you were speaking stuff into existence.
I believe that. I think mental imagery, if you believe something, you dream it, and you believe it every day, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
And, I was 18 years old, and I planned out my entire career,
Yeah.
and I thought about every single day what my goal was. And I think I told you I used to practice my victory speech in the shower every day when I came home from training, and I'd take a shower, and then I was taking a shower, I'd be in there practicing my victory speech. And I think my wife caught me a few times and like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm practicing for my win."
Yeah,
So,
exactly, yeah.
But as crazy as that sounds, I believed it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe something, no one else is going to believe it.
And I think also when you do that victory speech, you become, at the same time when you do that, you do also a lot of other stuff that makes you a student of the sport or a student of your goals. You're maximizing all these small little details that you need to have in your repertoire, and in order to, like I always referring, you take a break and go hunting. Some people can think that's kind of like, like a diversion from the goal. No, it's part of the goal. And I think that's how I see it. Things you add to the repertoire is actually adding to your ability to reach your goals. It's not reducing stuff. It's actually adding stuff that bring you closer to your goal. And I think when you're young, you have a tendency to get tunnel vision. You get older, you open up your perspective, and you see more important stuff in life that actually helps you to live a more richer and fuller life. And that's why I feel it's important mission for me and the team and the community to preach about, have a big mindset, make sure that you travel the world, make sure that you live life to the fullest, because that's how you reach your goals, whatever the goal might be.
Don't be afraid to chase your dreams
Yeah.
and make them a reality.
Yeah.
Because everyone who's ever done something great started with a dream.
Yeah.
Through hard work and perseverance, they made
Yeah.
it the reality.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest takeaway I've got.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's kind of like a good thing to think about. Where is your dream? Don't just live. In other. It's good to be inspired by other people, but make sure that you have your own dream in place.
Set your own path.
Yeah.
Yep. So, switching back to Olympia.
Yeah.
So I think this year, not sure how many we have, but probably 15, 16 athletes
Yeah.
qualified already. There'll be a
Yeah.
couple more, I'm sure, before
Yeah.
the show gets here. Unprecedented. There's no other organization that supports that many athletes, especially top-level Olympian athletes.
I think strengthening the whole network in and around GASP and Better Bodies is what's create that family feeling that you have a lot of people believing in you, and you have a lot of people that you can influence, and they can also influence you. And on that level, they help each other, they support each other, and GASP and Better Bodies become a little bit like a platform that we're all surfing on. But we are the main characters in the journey, and I think the more we can create that feeling that each and every one of those competing at the Olympia feel like they are the main characters in the journey. They can influence their future, their present, and all of that, and they can feel safe and secure because they have a huge team in and around them. I think that makes them more secure to perform the best, and they were also, regardless if it's win or some kind of defeat, they will take it with they will take the good with the bad, and they will excel with it.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. We have some of the top athletes in the world. We have Sean Clarita, the 212 Olympia champion.
Yeah.
We have Derek Lunsford, who's a previous 212 Olympia champion, got second in the Open, one of the favorites to win. We have Brett Wilkin, his first Olympia, Hunter Labrada, won many shows. You have Jessica Reyes, probably one of the hottest pro on the circuit right now. Like 20 victories, I believe.
Yeah.
One of the top 5 or 6 total victories of all time. Got second in the Olympia, just won the Masters Olympia. Ariel Kadar, 2-time Arnold Classic champion. The list goes on and on. There's a big chance we're going to have some more Olympia champions here, and we're going to put some more jerseys on the ceiling.
Yeah, get some more jerseys up in the ceiling, and also we have our big Olympia House at the during the Olympia week and weekend, where we see all the athletes coming with their trophies and their war stories back to the house on Sunday after the whole weekend, and celebrate with us, and maybe someone will be a little bit disappointed, but as soon as they get together, they will it'll be happy faces and fun stories going on.
So I got to ask you, why do you love bodybuilding so much?
Yeah, because bodybuilding it has really gave me everything in life. It gave me discipline, and I feel like the philosophy around bodybuilding, being a 24-hour sport, it really teaches me like all aspects of life and live life to the fullest. So maybe I don't eat chicken and rice like I used to, but the same discipline when it comes to being on a protocol, being on a diet, or all of that, I'm applying that to all aspects of my life, and that's why I want to also give that back to a lot of people, so they can feel the same feeling that I feel, because I feel bodybuilding can be so, it becomes so rewarding if you use it the right way. And you don't necessarily need to compete or anything like that, but you just to see people make the first step towards a healthier lifestyle, change their life, empower them to, maybe stop using alcohol or something that you're doing that is not good for you, and you can use bodybuilding to move in a better place.
I've said that many times. Bodybuilding taught me everything: hard work, discipline, dedication, sacrifice, all these principles. Which, if you apply that in other areas of your life, you'll be successful. And I would say most bodybuilders don't step on the stage. Most bodybuilders just come and train for their own self-improvement because they love to train.
Yeah, and work hard, play hard. The whole thing about work hard, play hard is to make sure that you got balance in life. You should work hard on anything that you have, but you should also make sure that you balance life so you can work hard and you can have fun and make sure that you do everything in a balanced way that doesn't hurt you, but it fulfill you.
And I think we here at GASP Better Bodies, I think we personify that: work hard, play hard. We work hard, obviously. We're an international company, 110 countries we do business in, but at the same time, we play hard too. We're at the racetrack driving cars. You're in motocross.
Entertaining, hospitality,
so, yes.
and I think it's important to show all aspects of life.
So Orlando 2023, we're back in Orlando. We were there 2 years ago. I know when we were there previously, we had a huge, beautiful home. And on Sunday, we had a lot of people come over. We're grilling, barbecuing. We had some smoke, and we had the fire department show up. So
it was like Friday. We had steaks and everything. It went pretty, kind of solid. And then on Saturday, we had Edmund's Hamburgers, and they created enough smoke to set the fire alarm off. And the fire marshal and all the trucks came out, and it was a big amazing scene there. And a guy came in the middle of everything and was wondering, it was kind of clear where the party was.
I was there for that, and I remember. I think I rolled up about the same time, and there was like fire trucks. I'm like, it's a party. Had all kinds of chaos going on. Of course, Guy was in the middle of it, and it was.
But I think like it's we served around 400 meals over those 3 days. So Friday, Saturday, and then brunch on Sunday, and we're gonna do a step and repeat of that concept again. We'll see how it goes with the fire trucks, but I'm sure we're gonna have some really fun, epic moments together. Smoke some cigars and enjoy life, and watch our athletes competing and supporting, and then of course a few of us will be at the actual show supporting in person, and many of us will be at the house, and then we shift days and stuff like that.
So our support with the Olympia isn't just with the athletes. We also have a booth at the Olympia. So it'll be the first time in many years we're going to have a booth back at the Olympia, so we'll have a presence there. So if you guys are attending the show, stop by the GASP Better Bodies booth. Our athletes will be there from certain times of the day, meeting and greeting. And in addition, we have the house. And we have certain times we have open house on Friday, Saturday evening for the watch party, and then of course on Sunday from 2 to 5.
And the house is like it should feel like a home away from home for all the ambassadors and athletes all around the world that comes in for this week and weekend. So make sure you get on the guest list so we know that you're coming, so we can take care of you. And I tell everybody who comes to destination, and kind of like we're standing out in the gym, and I'm pointing at that gray door into our living room here where we're sitting right now, and then I tell them that you see the gray door over there, and they say, oh yeah, I see the gray door. It's an imaginary door. It's not like a real door. It's just there to keep the noise out, so we can have meetings. So, and then they kind of get it that we have no closed doors. And it's the same thing with the house at Orlando. Make sure that you speak up, infuse yourself, and make sure that you take space and make your voice heard. Join the camaraderie, and don't be shy. Sitting at home thinking, what if I went to the house? What if I infused myself? And because most people, unfortunately, even if we speak a lot about this, most people are a little bit afraid to speak up.
100%. And it's a lot of fun. We've done this several years in a row now in Orlando and Vegas, and back in Orlando. And
super easy going.
And the food is really good. Wagyu fillets. Edmund makes these hamburgers, and hopefully he'll make his homemade from scratch buns. And like I like to say, one bite is so good, make you want to slap your mama.
And we're going to have some reinforcement in the kitchen by Wallace Wong, the six-pack chef from Canada. So he will come down and help us to cook a little bit, so that'll be good. So that'll be like a good addition to, you know, so we can host more people and have some more fun together.
Sounds like a fun weekend.
Yeah, it'll be good. Exciting.
Awesome.